You're walking through the mall on a Saturday afternoon. You pass a guy wearing a Rolex, carrying shopping bags from stores you recognize by logo alone. His jeans probably cost more than your car payment. He looks successful. He looks like he's figured it out. You glance down at your own watch, a $40 Casio, that's been telling perfect time for 6 years. For a second, maybe 2, you feel smaller, like you're doing something wrong, like you're falling behind in a race you didn't even know you'd entered. Here's what you don't see. That guy with the Rolex has $1,800 in his checking account. His credit cards are carrying $47,000 in balances. The car in the parking lot, the one with the leather interior and the monthly payment that makes his stomach hurt, is leased. He'll never own it. And those shopping bags, that's another $600 he didn't have, wrapped in tissue paper in denial. He doesn't look rich. He looks leveraged. But you can't see the difference from 20 feet away. And that's the entire problem. There's a term psychologists use, conspicuous consumption. It means buying things specifically because other people can see you buying them, not because you need them, not because they improve your life, because they broadcast a message. I'm successful, I've made it, I belong here. And here's the thing, it works, kind of. Studies show that people do make snap judgments about your status based on visible markers. The car you drive, the watch you wear, the neighborhood you live in, the restaurants you post on Instagram. We're wired to do this. It's social shorthand that helped our ancestors figure out who had resources and who didn't. So when you pull up in a German sedan, people assume competence. When you're wearing designer labels, people assume success. When your home has the right zip code, people assume you've arrived. It feels rational. It feels like you're investing in your image, and your image opens doors. Maybe it helps you close deals. Maybe it makes you feel confident in meetings. Maybe it just stops that gnawing feeling that you're not enough. The logic is seductive. Look successful. Become successful. Dress for the job you want. Fake it till you make it. Except there's a problem with this logic. A catastrophic one that most people don't discover until it's too late. What you're actually doing isn't building wealth. You're performing wealth. And performance is expensive. This isn't about vanity. It's deeper than that. You're not shallow or materialistic or broken. You're responding to one of the most powerful forces in human psychology, status signaling. Every species has status hierarchies. Peacocks have tail feathers. Silverback gorillas have size. Humans have stuff. When you buy the luxury watch, you're not buying a timekeeper. Your phone tells better time. You're buying a signal that broadcasts to everyone within visual range. I can afford to spend $8,000 on something that tells time. It's a peacock feather made of Swiss engineering. The suit from Nordstrom instead of Men's Warehouse. The lease on the BMW instead of buying the Honda outright. The house in the neighborhood where the schools are rated 9 out of 10 instead of 7 out of 10, even though you don't have kids yet. Every single purchase is performing the same function. You're not buying objects, you're buying distance from the bottom. And this is where it gets psychological. Because the people most obsessed with looking rich are rarely the people who are actually rich. They're the people who grew up without money, or who recently got access to it, or who are terrified of falling back down the ladder they just climbed. Real wealth whispers, performed wealth screams. The millionaire next door drives a paid-off Toyota. The guy trying to look like a millionaire is leasing a Mercedes he can't afford, financing furniture at 23% APR, and eating protein bars for lunch because the image consumed the budget. Let's run the numbers on what performing wealth actually costs you. Meet James. He's 32. He makes $95,000 a year working in tech sales. Not bad. Solidly middle class. He should be building wealth. Here's what James drives. A leased BMW 330i. Payment $650 per month. Insurance on a luxury vehicle for a single guy in his 30s, $240 per month. That's $10,680 annually. Here's what James wears. He rotates between 3 designer suits. Total investment, $3,500. Add shoes, belts, watches, accessories, another $2,000. He tells himself it's for work. His company has a casual dress code. Here's where James lives. A luxury apartment complex with a gym he never uses and a pool he visits twice a year. Rent, $2,400 per month. He could get a clean, safe 1-bedroom 10 minutes away for $1,500, but the address matters. That's $10,800 a year in location premium. Here's what James eats. Dinner out 4 nights a week because cooking feels beneath the image he's maintaining. Nice restaurants, always picking up the check to prove he's doing well. That's roughly $800 a month, $9,600 annually. A normal person meal prepping spends maybe $400 a month. Let's add it up. Car premium over a reliable used sedan, $8,000 per year. Wardrobe premium over normal professional clothes, $2,500 per year. Rent premium over adequate housing, $10,800 per year. Food premium over cooking, $5,200 per year. James is spending $26,500 per year on the performance of success. His take-home after taxes on $95,000 is roughly $68,000. After rent, car, insurance, food, and basic utilities, he's got maybe $15,000 left for everything else. Student loans, emergency fund, retirement, medical expenses, that trip to his brother's wedding, he's saving nothing. He has $2,300 in his checking account and calls that his emergency fund. If he loses his job, he's got 6 weeks before collapse. But he looks successful. At the networking event, at the coffee shop, on Instagram, he looks like he's winning. Here's what nobody tells you about lifestyle inflation. It's a ratchet, not a slider. When James got his first raise from $75,000 to $85,000, he upgraded the apartment. Better building, better location, better view. The rent went from $1,600 to $2,200. When he got promoted to $95,000, he upgraded the car. The paid-off Honda Civic became the leased BMW. Each time his income increased, his baseline expenses increased to match. This is called the hedonic treadmill, and it's devastatingly effective. Because here's the trap. Once you adopt a certain standard of living, going backward feels like failure. James can't move to the cheaper apartment now. What would people think? That he got demoted? That he's struggling? His friends know where he lives. His coworkers have been there for happy hour. He can't trade the BMW for a Civic. He's shown up to client meetings in that car. His LinkedIn profile picture has him standing next to it at a company event. The wardrobe, the dinners, the address, they've all become load-bearing walls in the structure of his identity. Remove any single piece and the whole performance collapses. So James is stuck. He can't downgrade without admitting the image was always a performance. And he can't save money without downgrading. This is the prison. The bars are invisible, but they're real. Every month, $5,200 goes to rent on an apartment that doesn't make him happier than the $1,500 option would. Every month, $650 goes to a car payment on a vehicle that depreciates faster than he can pay it off. He's not building equity. He's not building optionality. He's building a stage set that requires a monthly maintenance fee, and if he misses a single payment, the whole thing collapses and everyone sees it was fake the entire time. Here's the paradox that breaks most people's brains. The person who looks rich is often the person going broke in slow motion. The person building actual wealth often looks aggressively normal. Sam is 34. He makes $92,000 a year, almost identical to James. Sam drives a 2015 Honda Accord he bought for $14,000 cash 3 years ago. No payment. Insurance runs him $95 a month because it's an old, safe sedan. Sam wears business casual from J. Crew and Banana Republic. He owns 5 good shirts, 3 pairs of chinos, 2 blazers. Total investment over the past 3 years, $900. Sam rents a 2-bedroom apartment in a decent but unspectacular neighborhood for $1,400 a month. It's clean, safe, and 12 minutes from work. Sam meal preps on Sundays. He eats out maybe twice a week. Monthly food spending, $450. Let's run Sam's numbers. Transportation, $95 per month insurance, plus $80 per month. Gas plus $50 per month maintenance equals $225 per month equals $2,700 per year. Rent, $16,800 per year. Food, $5,400 per year. Wardrobe negligible, maybe $300 per year. Sam's essential fixed costs are roughly $25,000 a year. His take-home is $68,000. That leaves him with $43,000. He maxes out his Roth IRA, $7,000. He maxes out his 401k, $23,000. He keeps 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. That's $15,000 sitting there earning 4.5%. After all that, he still has $13,000 left over for travel, hobbies, unexpected expenses, or just sitting in a brokerage account compounding. Sam has $30,000 per year going directly into investments. At a 7% average return, in 10 years, he'll have roughly $415,000. James, who looks richer, has $0 going into investments. In 10 years, if nothing changes, he'll have exactly what he has now, a car he doesn't own, a closet full of depreciating fabric, and an apartment he rents. If both of them lose their jobs tomorrow, Sam has 6 months to find something new without panic. James has 6 weeks before he's selling the suits on Poshmark. Who's actually winning? This isn't a story about spending less. It's a story about choosing who you're performing for. James is performing for strangers, for the guy in the adjacent lane at the stoplight who glances at the BMW logo, for the people at the networking event who notice the watch, for the coworkers who see the apartment and assume he's killing it. These people don't care about him. They won't remember him in 6 months. They certainly won't help him when the performance becomes unsustainable. Sam made a different choice. He decided the only person he needed to impress was his future self. This is the identity shift that changes everything. Stop optimizing for perception. Start optimizing for optionality. Wealth isn't about what you look like. It's about what you can do. Can you quit a job you hate? Can you take 6 months off if you burn out? Can you say no to a project because the terms are insulting? Can you walk away from a negotiation because you don't need the deal? That's wealth. That's power. That's freedom. The Rolex doesn't give you that. The lease doesn't give you that. The apartment with the nice address doesn't give you that. You know what gives you that? A boring index fund that nobody sees, compounding quietly in the background while you drive your paid-off Camry and live in the neighborhood that's fine. Because here's the truth that the luxury marketing industrial complex doesn't want you to know. Actual rich people don't care what you think. They're not trying to impress you. They're not trying to signal anything. They've already won the game. You're still trying to look like you're winning. Warren Buffett lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Mark Zuckerberg drove a Honda Fit for years after becoming a billionaire. The founder of IKEA drove a 1993 Volvo. These aren't frugal people trying to prove a point. They're people who figured out that the performance is a trap, and the only way to win is to stop playing. You are not going to stop wanting things. That's not how this works. You're going to see the watch, the car, the house, and feel the pull. That's normal. That's human. The desire for status is hardwired into your brain, because for most of human history, status meant survival, but we don't live in that world anymore. The guy with the Rolex isn't more capable than you. He's just more leveraged. The woman with the Range Rover isn't more successful. She's just more committed to the performance. Looking rich and being rich are not the same thing. One is a costume. The other is a condition. The costume requires constant maintenance. New pieces, new props, new stages. It demands more from you every year, and it gives you nothing back except the temporary relief of not feeling poor. The condition, actual wealth, builds quietly. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need applause. It just accumulates in the background, creating space between you and desperation, giving you room to breathe, time to think, and the ability to say no. You can't buy freedom with a German sedan. You can't lease your way to optionality. You can't finance dignity at 7.9% APR. The only way out is to stop performing for an audience that isn't watching and start building for a future that actually depends on you getting this right. The math is simple. Looking rich is making you poor because every dollar you spend convincing strangers you're successful is a dollar that can't compound into actual security. And one day, sooner than you think, the performance will end, the lease will expire, the job will disappear, the income will dry up. When that happens, the only thing that will matter is what you built when no one was looking. This video was to prepare your mental ground. Now you can start today with very little and watch your money grow. In this video that is appearing for you, I show how the first $5,000 will make a huge difference in your start and how it changes the way you see money from now on, so I invite you to watch it too.